Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Redux What Ifs, and today I got a huge what if. Now, depending how it may be, it could go crazy or it could be a flop. I'm hoping it goes crazy. So, without any further ado, this is gonna be what if Itachi Uchiha was in jobless reincarnation. Basically, what if Rudius was Itachi's reincarnation for jobless reincarnation? Now, I had this idea because I was recently watching this, and I was like, dang, it's kind of overpowered, but imagine how Itachi would do in this universe. So, yeah, that's pretty much how that went. And plus, I got to the episode where he met the girl. Well, I passed the episode now, but like, he met the girl with the strange eye and gave Rudius that eye that allows him to basically like see the movements of people, basically like, basically like see into the future, kind of basically what the Sharingan does already. So that would be a really interesting thing when she already, like, if she sees Itachi's eyes and you're like, you don't need an eye, your eyes are already special, probably even more powerful than mine. And so it's just stuff like that, just small things like that. But make sure y'all comment, like, subscribe. One of my videos are about to hit 1K. The what if Sukuna was Deku's vessel is about to hit 1K. Well, one of the videos are about to hit 1K. I didn't expect that shit to go as crazy as it did before, but it's getting up there now. So hey, if that video hits 1K, I might have to bring it back. I might have to put that off hiatus and continue the series. So, yeah, if that video hits 1K, man, and this video go crazy, I might have to bring back, what if Sukuna was Deku's vessel? Or what if Deku had Sukuna inside him? Whoa, that sounded kind of crazy, but y'all get what I mean. And I hope y'all enjoyed that Invincible what if too. I recently just watched some episodes of Invincible, so we'll be pushing those episodes out. I saw the other Viltrumite, Thaddeus or Thetis. I don't know how you say his name, but it'll be real interesting. And then the Conquest rematch, and I have a little plot twist for that one, because we all thought Conquest, Doom Quest, I'm gonna call him that. We all thought Doom Quest died when Clark basically did the Superboy Prime and basically punched him into a different reality, or basically punched him out of the fabric of the universe, pretty much, or into a separate, limbo space. But since we have multiverse theory, we're gonna see how did Conquest return, or is it the Conquest that we think it is? Things might be different, so yeah, can't wait to see how that one turned out. I know how it turns out, but I know y'all waiting for something like this, man. Let's just say that picture of Conquest behind Superman like that, we both know what's gonna happen if he tries to smack Superman like that. And I can't wait to do that. I really can't wait to do that sequence, bro. Because y'all gonna think that some shit gonna happen. Oh, this ain't that, bro. Y'all already know how my Superman is in this universe. More, he still has his morals, but if he has to, he will slime you out. No questions asked. Actually, he might ask questions. He really don't want to do it, but at the same time, y'all know how he is. He will slime you out. Ask Doomquest. He will slime you out, bro. Had no choice. And I hope y'all like the thing that I did with Superman becoming like almost one of the strongest Superman in that multiverse, or in the universe of Invincible, since there is multiverse theory. There's still plenty of Superman in that multiverse as well. But I just hope y'all liked what I did with that one specifically, because Kingdom Come, turning into, Superman Prime 1 million, transfer all the excess energy so he can turn into it. It's, basically jump starting cells, not cell. Why did I say cell? Clark Sells, you know. That was a pretty good twist if you do ask me. But I hope y'all enjoy this What If, man. I've been watching, you know, this anime, so I hope y'all enjoy this What If as I think I will enjoy this What If. I enjoy all my What Ifs regardless, you know. So, without any further ado, man, I'm going to stop this 5-minute intro yap session. I'm going to get this intro playing, and we finna get into the What If.
Look at these stones on my neck. All of these diamonds ain't making her wet. I'm fucking this hoe and she cannot forget. I ain't so high, I feel like a jet. I'm brushing my shoulders in.
Now, we start this What If off with basically, we start this What If off in Naruto, where Itachi is fighting Kabuto, and along with Sasuke, he puts Kabuto in an Izanami or Izanagi. I think it's Izanami, where he basically, you know, makes Kabuto relive the whole thing over and over till he changes his mind in the decision that he made, right? So he basically does that. Hold on, let me move back here real quick so I can get comfortable and do this What If properly. Okay, excluding that just happened. So after they successfully trap Kabuto in the Genjutsu and he gets beaten, right? This is where the reanimation jutsu it basically gets released, and this is where Itachi passes over, right? Itachi passes over and tells Sasuke to basically do good, and he's proud of him. Oh, excuse me. Oh, here goes the yawning. Haven't done that in a while. But he basically tells Sasuke that he's proud of him, and he hopes that he becomes a better person than he ever was. And so, with that being said, Itachi departs from the Narutoverse until he sees his he wakes up into in a limbo area, and he asks where he's at, and this is where the god vessel for the basically the god of for dropless reincarnation, basically how Rudius was talking to him before he got reincarnated into the world. He basically tells Itachi that he needs his help with something, and he ran out of all options, and he's asking from another universe basically to do what he wants them to do, or basically just lead the world into the right direction, because there's plenty of people that have it out for him. And so that's when Itachi said wait, but then basically the humanoid god said that, oh, we'll talk sooner than you think. And then that's when Itachi wakes up, right? So he wakes up into the Zenith and Paul household, Gray Rat, right? So we're gonna so he wakes up, and then that's when he still has his memories, and he's like, well, I'm guessing this is my new mother and my father. And then that's when he hears them saying that, what should we name him? And then that's when he was like, I really hope I get to keep my old name, preferably. And that's when they accidentally say Itachi, even though that was the god's doing, since he kind of heard him talk in his head, right? So they say Itachi, Great Rat, right? And this is where he tries to talk, but since he can't talk, he cries. So he's wondering why he's crying, but then excuse me, oh my goodness. Then he realized that he's a baby, so talking is not gonna be easy. So after a few good years, right? A few good years, he's still doing his infancy. He's a lot quieter than what normal babies would be, and sometimes it does scare Zenith a little bit how he's really quiet and well mannered. But at the same time, she's getting used to it, so it's really not scaring her too bad. It's really more like she expected she really expected more, crying and all this other stuff, but she's kind of really surprising that he's well mannered and maintained and controlled, right? So once Itachi gets to about, once he gets to about of age, right, he basically starts to train with Paul and learn magic. But he's learning magic by himself, but he learns fighting from Paul. As they have their first sword fight, and Itachi, he grabbed the wooden sword, and he already knew what type of style he wanted, right? So this is where, oh my gosh, man, I need to stop yawning, bro. Please, let me just do this one. All right. So they have their first tiny sparring session, as it was getting towards the basic, but since Itachi already knew some of the basics and more, Paul decided to go a little harder on him, see where to push him at, and try to humble him, because he feel like his son is being cocky, as he knows a little too much. So he starts to put a little bit more oomph into the attacks, with Itachi dodging relatively easily. And so this is where he's dodging, and then this is where he switched to the north style of the sword fight, right? The north style sword fighting, as he tried to catch Itachi off guard. But then this is where he, at the last second, his Sharingan awakens into the one Tomoe, and he saw where the blade trajectory was going to go. So this is where Itachi dodges it at the last second, and then uses his speed, or somewhat of his speed that he has. Mind you, he's still in the child body, so he's still limited, right? So even though I know Itachi was doing crazy stuff when he was little, he's still gonna do crazy stuff when he's small. So just let me cook. So he uses the body flicker technique to boost his speed, right? And then this is where he comes behind Paul, and then that's when Paul at the last second counters, as he was like, he told Paul, this is the end. And then that's when Paul tries to counter, but then he strikes Itachi, right? He strikes Itachi, and Itachi flies back. And then as his body lays, it basically turns into crows, right? It turns into crows, as that's when he pokes his dad in the back with the sword, and he's like, checkmate, Dad. And then that's when he was like, well, I wasn't expecting that, but I wouldn't expect any less from the amazing son I know I have. And that's when they both, smile, and, that's when Paul, jumps on top of him, and, have some fatherly roughing time, Basically what fathers do. And why did this truck park next to me, bro? Like, you have all this other space, and you want to park next to me, bro. Anyway, so after that happens, they decide that, since Itachi knows magic at an early age, way past than what they thought they would, they start to look for new teachers that could teach and, kind of guide Itachi of learning magic, learning the basics and maybe some advanced stuff, right? So while they're looking for a teacher, Itachi practices, how to draw energy from this world. So with this new Itachi, right, he could draw energy from chakra. He could use the surrounding mana from the so he has a mana reserve and a chakra reserve. So his chakra reserves are going to be way bigger now due to the mana. So he could have his mana convert into chakra, or have his chakra convert into mana. So he basically has like an unlimited energy, chakra and mana reserves, but they will drain, but he could offset for one. And so it's basically like a semi infinite, reserves, if he plays it right. So that's how we're gonna do the balance for his system, and for the system of this specifically for him. So So he practiced his jutsus, or all the jutsus that he copied and know by heart. So basically, I'm gonna say what he can do. He can use fire style. He can use all types of fire style. He can use fire, majestic flame destroyer, majestic wheel flame destroyer. Um, what else? What else? He can use wind style. He can use lightning style. He can use Shidori. I feel like Itachi could use Shidori. Um, what else? So he could use fire, wind, lightning, water, pretty much every jutsu that he copied. So just think of it as like him being like an encyclopedia for elemental jutsus. Um, so he could do that. Wind style, I think he could pull off the Rasengan, but he would need to practice it. When it comes to like techniques, he has the classic crows, which he doesn't use often. It's more like he uses like elemental style substitutions. So like, let's say like he uses like the clone explosion. He uses that. He can use that. Or like, let's say he gets stabbed. He use like a fire clone explosion, stuff like that. So he's really leaning more towards like elemental substitutions for now. Yes, when we get up there, he'll start maining the crows, but for now, we're just gonna keep it nice and simple. So I would pretty much say that Itachi as a youngin, he's pretty stacked. He is pretty fucking stacked. So yeah, that's pretty much what he has currently. I would say that what else? Yeah. He's pretty fucking stacked. And so with that being said, he basically like learns everything he already knew, right? And so with that being said, everything goes to canon, and then we already know what happens with Paul and Zenith and her getting cheated on by Paul with the maid, which makes Itachi's sister. And now, because he was a big brother, but he never had like a sister before, so it's kind of new to him. And with all that going, Itachi is really disappointed with Paul, but he also doesn't want Zenith to feel this way. And and instead of Rudius, how in canon Paul got mad at Rudius, and Itachi did the same thing. And he was like, if Zenith doesn't see you the same, you can't blame her. You have nobody but yourself to blame. And so that's when that happens, with Itachi basically talking to Zenith later on and saying that he is always going to be here for his mother, and that he loves her, and regardless what happens, he'll support her no matter what. So with that being said, we're going to time skip, and we're basically going to get into the battle where Paul has to send Itachi off to teach Eris, right? But Itachi said that he doesn't want to go, and he likes living. He likes having a peaceful life, because all he really has known is bloodshed. And when he finally gets some sort of peace, there's always something trying to ruin it. And then that's when Paul said, don't see it as of me trying to punish you. See it as broadening your horizon, and seeing the world for the beauties and dangers of what it may possess. As Itachi said that he still doesn't want to go. And then that's when he said, okay, fine, if you could beat me in a fight, then you can stay here, but if I win, you have to go. And so that's when they were both like, that's when Paul said that, but for them to fight, they can't fight on an empty stomach, which Itachi was hesitant, but he ate, unknowingly not knowing that Paul put sedatives in the food. So even if Itachi wins, he would still have to go regardless, which Paul had to plan for that because he knew that his son was way too smart for his own good and that he is very observant with everything. So they come out into the field, and there are some some bystanders watching the basically watching the whole they're basically watching the whole ordeal, right? And so that's when the maid says begin, and then that's when Paul rushes in, right? But Itachi is not having it, right? Paul rushes in with the North God sword style, or North sword style, right? So he's swiping and slashing, right? Itachi is dodging effortlessly, mind you. So he's dodging effortlessly, and then that's when Itachi, steps to the side, and seeing it in fashion, he remembers what Might Guy did as he yells "Leaf Hurricane," as a gust of wind came on his foot. And Itachi is smart like this because he knows he's in a body of a child, so his hits won't have that much effect. But utilizing the wind style and the wind nature, he's using that to compensate for the lack of strength. So those kicks are actually doing some sort of damage. So he kicks with Paul barely dodging as he feels the gust of wind breeze past his face as he comes up with the downward. His sword was down, and then he swipes up with the sword, which Itachi dodges barely dodging it as Itachi flips back, and then that's when he doesn't even use the hand seals, right? Since, like I said in the beginning, he has mana and chakra, and so that's when he breathes in, he says fire style, majestic flame, and then that's when because Itachi's not holding back, bro. He's not holding back, so he does majestic flame, right? And Paul just looks at it in awe as he basically does this move where he basically goes to he throws the fireball. He throws his wooden sword through the fireball. I think it's like one of the sword styles that you could throw your weapon as a last resort, right? So he threw his weapon right through the fireball, and it just became like a flaming wooden sword. And that's when Itachi dodged it, right? He tilted his head to the side as he could feel the searing heat, and then it flings away and it hits the tree as one of the maids puts the sword out before it catches the tree on fire. And that's when Paul takes another blade, right? And then that's when he said, "You're not even prepared. You don't even have a second weapon, just in case the first one goes missing or falls out your hand, or worse." And then that's when Paul attempts to speed blitz. And then that's when he strikes Itachi. That's when he strikes Itachi through the he strikes Itachi with the wooden sword, right? Like, he gives him a thrust, and then that's when Itachi takes the hit. And then that's when he said, "See, you have a lot to learn." And then that's when Itachi grabs the sword, right? And then that's when he's like, "No, you have a lot to learn." And then that's when he sees the Rinnegan. Oh boy, let me not stop. No. I mean, when we get down later there, he will unlock that. But right now, hell no. At this point, if I gave Itachi the Rinnegan, bro, at this very moment, bro, no. He's dog walking the verse, bro. Like, it's no question asked. So this is where his 3 Tomoe shows, and he put the a subtle feeling of a genjutsu at the last second. Not like Tsukiyomi type heavy, but like a basic genjutsu, like a fear genjutsu, as he shows Paul his eyes. And that's when Paul starts to feel like he can kind of resist it, since his willpower is that good. But that's when Itachi turns into that's when Itachi body begins to fall, like it begins to like melt and then turns into birds. And that's when Itachi comes up behind, and then that's when Itachi says, "You left yourself wide open." And then that's when Paul blocks, he parries his strike, and then that's when Itachi follows up with the move that he heard about, not he heard about, he's just experimenting. This is when he does the water signs, right? And then out of nowhere, Itachi says, water style, bite of the explosive snake, right? And then all you see is this huge water vortex around Itachi that forms, right? It forms, and then it's this huge water snake that just curls around and slithers around as it strikes Paul with Paul really has no answer for this. He really has no answer for this, so he just meets it head on as he jumps for it, and then he goes through the water, and it just crashes down as it makes a huge water explosion, right? And so this is when, Paul said that he didn't want to use this move. Only the real sword god, the sword king or sword emperor. I think there's like ranks to it. There's really ranks to it, and he said, there's only one person that been able to beat me with this move, and now I have the chance to use it against you. He was like, good job, my son. You've made me proud as a father and how strong you are. So I know you'll be the strongest, probably stronger than me one day, but right now, you have a lot to learn. And then this is where he gets into this stance, right? And it's basically the same move that Gishelane used when Rudius and Eris were in trouble when they first got kidnapped, and it was like this huge I don't know what she did. All you see her is just speed blitz, and then all this like rainbow flashes, like this colors and shit, and then all of a sudden everybody died, and it just created like a huge explosion. I don't know what it's called, but this is what Paul's attempting to use right now. And so this is when Itachi was like, fine, if you want to use a secret sword technique, then I'll use one. And then this is where he uses Mifune sword technique. If y'all played Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 or Connections, y'all know Mifune's special, not his ultimate, but his special, where he just speed blitz, and then if he gets you, half your health is gone. So this is where they just stand off, right? And then there's like aura, like there's this is where Itachi charges it. And hold on, let me look at what these moves are called real quick, because this is about to be an epic action sequence right here, bro. This is okay. So Paul is using Sword of Light, the move that Gishelane whooped his ass with, right? And now he's gonna do it. And then Itachi is using Dancing Blade Hazard, right? The shit from Naruto, right? So this is where they both charge up, right? And then that's when Paul goes first. Paul moves, and like he is moving, and then Itachi is noting that this is probably the most serious his dad has ever been against him, right? And so this is where Itachi breathes in and out, right? And then that's when he opens his eyes, and you see the Sharingan as he says, I have it now. And then that's when he dashes, right? So they're both moving at high speed, right? And then that's when they this is where Paul says Sword of Light, right? And then this is where Itachi says Dancing Sword Hazard. And then this is where they both, clash, right? It's like a clash. It's one clash. Everybody who's paying attention or watching, it just looked as one. But on a serious note, they were clashing like a mug, bro. So after they finish, they, sequence, they both come at each other. And then this is where Itachi notices a rip on his shirt, right? A rip on his shirt, right? And then some bruises start to form on his arm and chest. And then this is where Paul gets hurt. Like, he gets hurt. Not like bad, like injured, but he gets hurt as he coughs up blood. And then that's when he takes a knee. And then that's when Itachi body flickers. And then this is where he has his wooden sword behind Paul's head, and he was like, Father, I win. Looks like I'm staying here. And then that's when he starts to feel dizzy, and then he was like, what's going on? And then this is when Paul sweeps his legs. He sweeps his legs and then does like a palm to his stomach. And that's when Itachi flies back. And he was like, son, One day you'll understand this, but I had to do this. He was like, you're too smart and too strong for your own good. There was never winning against you. And when I did, he said, and even if I did, it would have been a very slim margin that you probably could have avoided too. So this was the only way to do this. You may hate me now, but later you'll thank me. Become strong, do good, and don't forget, me and your mother are very proud of you. And then that's when Itachi says, Father, and then that's when he blacks out, right? And then this is where Gishelin comes, and takes Itachi, right? And then this is where he wakes up. This is where he wakes up in a carriage, right? Itachi wakes up in a carriage, and he was like, where am I? And then this is where Gishelin introduces herself as a Gishelin, one of the Sword King. I think she's a Sword King or Sword Emperor. One of those two. I think she's a Sword King, right? She's the Sword King. She introduces herself as the Sword King, which Itachi knows that's like one of the strongest titles. Even with, like, if they fought currently right now, he would probably lose. Even with the Sharingan, he would probably need the Tomoe to help him. And even then, it is, he doesn't see like the Tomoe, not the Tomoe, the Tsukiyomi. I said Tomoe, the Tsukiyomi as an automatic. Well, it kind of is an auto win, right? Ooh, that juice is hitting, bro. So it is technically an auto win, but that drains Itachi. And even though that he has mana and it can incorporate in doing the Tsukiyomi, right? He doesn't know how to do it yet, so he's just focusing on like pure chakra because he doesn't know what type of effects it would have if he uses mana to power his Sharingan instead of just chakra, right? So he was like, even with the help of the Mangekyou, it's really not guaranteed. It just boosts his chance of winning, but that doesn't mean he will win. So Itachi keeping it real. So she just explains like where they're taking him, and they arrive to Eris's to Paul's cousin's place. And this is where Gishelin said that she, along with him, will be training Eris, basically how to use a sword and magic, right? And so this is where Itachi was like, really? And he was like, oh, okay, well. He was like, well, lead the way, uncle. And so this is where he tells her that he tells Itachi and Gishelin that she's a very feisty woman. And this is where Itachi, had a flashback where he had to take his clan out, right? He basically had to take his clan out, and he really never knew what love was, falling for someone, even having a fiery woman, how he always saw, or he always, when he was watching Sasuke and, watching above Sasuke and everything, and, just, he really never experienced that. So that's one of the things that the sage also told him to experience. Just do what you want, but experience everything. He already had it bad enough in that life. So sage basically told him to just do good and, have good experiences with good people. So with Itachi using all his memories, his knowledge about people, he's serious, but at the same time he's taking like a back seat a little bit, not to be too serious, So this is where he meets Eris, right? This is where he meets Eris, and he what is it? So he meets Eris as he opens the door, and then this is where Eris stands there, arms crossed, head held up high, and this is where she was like, so this is going to be the new tutor? I ran out all the others. This one's not going to make a difference. And then that's when she walked up to him, and she was like, you're really small. And she was like, you're really short for, I think Rudy, not Rudy, is Itachi is a little, no, actually, yes, Itachi is a little older. like, we're gonna say they're 2 months apart, 2 months older than her. And then, Itachi is a little bit, shorter than Eris, and she said that he's a little short to be a tutor, and she's not gonna take him serious because covers his height. And then that's when he was like, well, height really doesn't matter when you know what you're doing. But my name is Itachi Gray Rat, and it would be an honor and a pleasure to teach you these things. And then that's when she scoffed, because she thought that he thinks he knows everything and that he's just better than her. And they started, going back and forth. And then that's when she said, I had enough of you. And then that's when she, tries to slap Itachi how she did in canon with Rudius. And then that's when Itachi put up 2 fingers, and then that's when he stopped Eris's hands, right? And he was like, trying to slap somebody, he said, trying to slap somebody while they're talking is kind of rude. And then that's when she said, well, I don't care what you think. And then she tried to, get the other one. And then that's when Itachi slightly tilted his head back. And then she said, stop moving. And then that's when she tried to run, boost herself towards him. And then that's when that's basically when he dodges, he sidesteps, and then puts his foot out, and then that's when she trips over his foot. And then that's when Itachi was like, rule number 1, if you are in combat, always be aware of your surroundings, and don't let your emotions get the best of you. And he was like, we live and learn, and sometimes I do tend to fight with my emotions sometimes, which makes it better, but don't get too involved with your emotions. And he was like, it's very bad, as he got cut off with Eris unexpectedly jumping on him. And then they it started like in canon how she was like whooping on him, and then that's where we're gonna leave this what if off right here. I appreciate y'all for all the love and support, man. Y'all thought I was playing when I said I wasn't gonna be going crazy with this. I'm going crazy with these uploads, man. So I hope y'all enjoyed this what if. Let me know what I should change, what abilities you want me to give Itachi. I pretty much covered all the bases at the beginning. He can do every other chakra nature, but I really just prefer fire, wind, water, lightning, yin and yang. He'll get that soon. But I just hope y'all enjoy this what if, man. I appreciate y'all for all the love and support y'all been showing me. And yeah, I just hope y'all enjoyed the what if. And I might start doing bloopers at the end, or certain fight scenes I took out, what the original what if was supposed to be, and other stuff. I was thinking about doing that, some extras or some bonus content for the what ifs that I was making, so I can see the process or what epic shit I was planning on doing, but I just redacted because I didn't really think it would be that good. Y'all hear that? That's that good ass water right there. Ice cold, bro. But yeah, I feel like when I get up there, bro, I'm gonna be the only what ifer that don't cut shit out, bro. Like even if I'm in the middle, if I'm doing a what if and I start eating, bro, bro, it's just gonna be a running gag with me and being one of the most hard. I feel like I want to be the most hard-working what ifer that doesn't cut anything out and just keep it a buck and a beam, and the most active what if YouTuber that responds to every comment, all my fans that I'm currently getting, all my subscribers. I'm not above that Hollywood stuff. I'm not gonna say it's not a lot of what ifers, but there's some what ifers that that don't be responding, bro. They be hitting all these views and they just don't be responding. And I'm not one of that. I'm still a normal person like everybody else. So I just hope y'all enjoyed the what if, man. Make sure y'all comment, subscribe, and I already did the mark. I might do the. I might record another Invincible what if. I'm feeling good right now, but so far I have the Hyperion what if, right? I got the Hyperion. I'm gonna drop that one. I just did the Invincible what if, even though that was more like a filler. And Next one will be Miles and Spectacular Spider-Man. So we're gonna get that one straight up next and done. What else? And what I was thinking about bringing back. What if Tatsumi had Yamato from Devil May Cry, finishing that series? If y'all want that series and want me to finish it, or if y'all want me to finish what if Deku was Sukuna's vessel, how I had that one going and I just stopped because I started doing other what ifs, I will finish that as well. Yeah, I just hope y'all enjoy the what ifs, and I'm gonna be posting some projects that I have coming out and that I do plan on doing. And yeah, pretty much that's pretty much it. I really don't got anything else to say besides that. Thank y'all for so much for the love and support y'all been showing me. This is Redux What Ifs signing out. Peace.